All right, we are going to cover two gifts tonight. That will be sharing and apostleship. This is the last study of gifts that engage people outside of the church. And it's an interesting sermon Sunday about hospitality and mercy and evangelism. Today we'll look at sharing first. Sharing. 1 Corinthians 12:18 says, God has placed the parts, each one of them, in the body just as He wanted. I quoted that passage Sunday morning. And it has a lot of significance here tonight. That's 1 Corinthians 12:18. Some of us, when we were growing up, learned the lesson of sharing when we were preschool, 2, 3, 4 years old. Growing up, we knew the basics of sharing. But most of us, if we're honest with ourselves, struggle with sharing in our adult life. What I mean by that is this. Some of us don't know how to share. Some of us don't know when to share. Some of us don't know what to share. I want to read something to you real quick. Why is sharing so hard? Sharing my money, sharing my food, sharing my clothes, sharing my home, sharing my car, sharing my church, sharing my pew, and sharing my faith. Does anybody know the common word that's not sharing in every one of those statements? My. No, that's great. My. It's a little bitty word. My, me, and I. Me, myself, and I. It's the biggest part about sharing. How many of you know that sharing is a basic stewardship doctrine? What is stewardship? What is the first thing we need to know to understand stewardship? Nothing belongs to us. Who does it belong to? It belongs to God. So when we look at sharing, right? Some people say, yeah, sharing is spiritual gift. I don't say sharing is spiritual gift. Sharing is a discipline that is hugely overlooked, that keeps us from using our spiritual gifts. If everything belongs to God, then why should I share my gift? There's that word again. Why should I share my gift? What if your gift is evangelism? You have to share. What if your gift is giving? You have to share. What if your gift is hospitality? You have to share. What if your gift is mercy? We can go through every gift you want to talk about, and every gift that we talk about has nothing to do with you, but has everything to do with other people. So you cannot do it alone. Why is that important? Because a gift is something God gives us to better His kingdom, not your kingdom. Why are we so selfish? This book has a phenomenal story about cutting somebody's grass. Right? The guy got very selfish. And I was reading one over this, and I said, man, this exact same thing, almost to the letter, happened to me. I cut my grass last summer, very hot, and my neighbor had been gone on the road for about 6 months working, and his grass is this tall. And I had things I wanted to do, right? And all I worked construction, and Man, I am not going to cut this dude's grass, right? His wife's at home. His son's off working. It's just her and her little girl at home. You know, they don't know how to ride a lawnmower. So I went up there and cut the grass, right? And I'm thinking to myself the whole time, why am I doing this, right? I got this to be doing, that to be doing, this to be doing. And then on top of all of that, my lawnmower broke the belt on it. The grass was too high. Right, and I'm like, I knew I should have been up here, right? I shouldn't be up here doing this. Now this is tore up. Now I got to go get this part. Now I got to do this. And it was almost a throat punch when she came out of her house. And she said, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming and cutting my grass. You know, Chuck's been gone for months. And, you know, won't you let us do something for you? Won't you let us do something? You know, and I got to thinking, why should I be so selfish when even that lawnmower ain't mine? The home that I'm fixing to go suck the air conditioner up in ain't mine. The money I used to put gas in it isn't mine. It's kind of one of those gut check moments where you're like, man, I have worked my whole life. And then I caught myself. I said, my life don't belong to me anymore. When we, as followers of Christ, understand that we are bond servants to Jesus Christ, your life's no longer yours. You're here for a season. Whatever you think you have, it ain't yours. I'll tell you something else. The things that we struggle with, idolize, if we would turn those things over to God, He would bless us tremendously with those things for His kingdom. Share this. Very important. All spiritual gifts are for sharing. A spiritual gift has no value if it is your gift. None. I could be the best preacher that God ever put on the earth. But if I never preach, then what good? It's like a baseball team. Love baseball, love softball, love all kinds of sports, football. Right? They have a cross around here. I'm sure I'd like that too. Right? I mean, I just love anything to do with outside the sport. But you can take a third baseman, right, and move him from third to first base, and he's going to be okay. He'll play. You can take a shortstop and a third baseman, a second baseman and a first baseman, right? Anybody that plays the game well, anywhere you put them on a diamond, they'll manage to play. But they have a spot. You know, Nolan Ryan didn't play shortstop. One of the best hitters that ever held a stitched piece of leather. Tom Glavine, Greg Maddox, all those guys were unbelievable pitchers. They had their spot. And they shared their talent for the whole team. I bet Nolan Ryan wouldn't be so well known. Yeah. He got caught up in the big leagues. They said, no, man, you ain't pitching no more. You can play catch. Right? That's where you're going to be. We got another guy to do that. Spiritual gifts is the same way. Yeah, he would play for the love of it, but he wouldn't have been happy. He wouldn't have been where he was supposed to be. Spiritual gifts are the same way. Sharing is the same way. God has designed you to be in one spot, in one position. And He gave you every talent to do that with. Every gift surrounds that. And if you don't share that, it's just like you sitting in the dugout pointing at people saying, well, they did this, I could do that better, we need to do this. It's working. One thing that people do share in church, they're not afraid to share, is their opinion when somebody else is wrong. You know what they say about opinions, don't you? Okay, I'm not going to say that. So we understand the importance of sharing, hospitality, mercy, giving. Right? Let's look at apostleship real quick. Some people believe that when the last book of God's Word was put together, the revelation of Jesus Christ, as we have the last book of God's Word, that apostles or apostleship was no longer needed. There's a lot of theologians that believe there are no more apostles on the earth after God's Word was written. A lot of people believe that. It even goes as far in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 14, that the apostles' names will be written on the 12 pillars of the corners of heaven. Revelation 21:14. So I do agree there is no more big A apostles, right? The men who followed Jesus Christ every day, watched him do miracles, watched the last drop of blood flow from his body. I do agree. Those big A guys, there's no more. But I do believe God still calls people to be apostles. What is an apostle? The Greek word for apostle, I'm terrible with this, is A-P-O-S-T-I-L-I-O-S, apostilioso. I'm terrible with language like that. Okay? What does that mean? Right? It means one sent. I drew a horrible blank. The Greek word for apostle means one who is sent. Okay? So when you go back to the original text of God's Word, you see that these 12 apostles were men who were called and sent by Jesus. He sent these men out to heal. He sent them out to cast demons out. He sent them out to do this. But I'll tell you who else he sent. A guy named Paul. Remember him? About Silas, Timothy, Barnabas, James, Jesus' brother. You think God also sent those men as apostles? Right? How many know the guy named Paul as the apostle of Paul? Was he one of the big 12 that followed Jesus? No. He wasn't. He was the guy that sought to kill those 12 men. So absolutely, I believe God has still placed apostles on the earth. What did Paul do? Paul evangelized the word. What did Silas and Timothy and Barnabas do? They went to take care of God's churches. When Paul went to Corinth or Greece or wherever to take care, what did he do? He watched over the churches. He made sure they were preaching the correct doctrine. He made sure they were sharing the true message of Jesus Christ. That's what all these men did. They watched over the churches. They seed planted these churches. So absolutely, I believe there are apostles who called to do that. Called church planters. They're called directors of mission. Somebody may disagree with me, but Brother Ryan Watson was the DOM in North Shore. Brother David was the DOM in Delaware. Do you think God called those men to those positions? To watch over 30 churches, 50 churches, 70 churches? They're a modern day apostle. Those men deal with all the problems in all the churches, but yet they preach very little. Who? Apostleship is almost always paired with another gift or several gifts. Okay? We look at the gifts of like administration, keeping everything organized. Right? Let me tell you something. It's a gift. It's a gift to keep everything where it's supposed to go. It's a gift to know how everything's organized, know the organization of the church. We'll give you some examples real quick. Apostleship, added with the gift of mercy. God may be calling someone to work in a foreign country or a social ministry, to engage in Christian relief, with the added gift of teaching. God may be establishing a school at an international location, calling you to oversee that. With the added gift of administration and or leadership, you might help organize the central business functions of a mission organizing team. With the added gift of help or service, you may be involved in agricultural mission, sharing the gospel with tribal people that no one else can get to. Teaching them how to use their water and soil to maximize their growth for their community. You have a unique personality where you never meet a stranger. Maybe paired with apostleship and evangelism. God is calling you to be a missionary. Now look, do I think there's a missionary or there's an apostle in this church or there is, I don't know that, but I promise you, if God is calling you to do that, you didn't just start. You've been fighting it for years. I promise you. And I will tell you this. Until you submit to what God has gifted you with, you are going to be the most miserable human in existence. We're going to close with two passages of Scripture. Romans chapter 15, verse 1. My aim is to evangelize where Christ has not been named, in order that I will not be building on someone else's foundation. But Romans 15:20, an example of an apostle. 2 Corinthians 10:16, so that we may preach the gospel to the regions beyond you, not boasting about what has already been done in someone else's area of ministry. Do you think an apostle is somebody who goes somewhere and just takes up where somebody's left off? Or do you think they're kind of a trailblazer? Do you think God calls them to start fresh and new? God calls them to start fresh and new. And put them where there is nothing for God. Maybe there's a neighborhood that God has laid in your heart. Maybe there's a street that God has been pulling you to go to. Maybe there's a community in this place that God is yearning for you to go to. The most common word we use, I'm not going over there. Let me tell you this. Until you figure out that whatever you think you have with God, and quit being selfish and make it real, you'll always be who you are in Christ right now. How many people are comfortable where they are right now? Comfortable. I'm right where God wants me to be. I know I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do. I'm living according to God's will. I do what God asks me to do. Hard to say. You want to raise your hand and answer to yourself. How many people know they're not living where they're supposed to be? And I don't mean living in sin. I don't mean I mean, you don't know that you're where God wants you spiritually. You don't know that you're doing what God has called you to do. Here, at your job, wherever. See, that's the purpose of this. If people don't know what their gift is, they have no idea. We're going to start speaking gifts next week, Sunday. We're going to skip a Wednesday night. I'll be back the following Sunday. Actually, we're going to skip 2 Wednesday nights and a Sunday service. Okay, because we'll have Sunday morning this coming Sunday here. Sunday night's Bible school, Wednesday night's Bible school. The following Sunday, we'll all be going to Kentucky. Following Sunday and Wednesday. Okay? We'll have somebody fill in Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. And the following Sunday morning, we'll pick back up with gifts. Right? I know people are like, why are you doing this right? Sometimes you got to share your preacher, amen? Oh, wow. Sometimes she's like, don't nobody want to share you tonight? Go, let's get out of my car. But I want to challenge you to do something. While we're gone, I want you to be praying. And I'm going to do my best to have everybody a spiritual gift inventory before we leave. And I want you to start working through that. And I want you to do that and not answer the way you want to answer. I want you to answer to your conviction. Big difference. Right? And I might not even ask you to pass it in. If you feel led to do that, that's okay. But I promise you there's teachers, there's evangelists, there's apostles. There's people who are called to do things that sit on a pew every Sunday that don't do it. You know, I always got to close with kind of a Brother Jeremy comment, right? Where I kind of take a jab at you in a loving way. Right? I do this when I'm closing out a conversation with my wife for the last word. You trust that I'm here on God's call. Right? I trust that you'll seek God's call in your own life. You want to see the church blow up? You want to see it expand? You want to see it grow? You want to see it go places that you never thought this place could go? Why don't you meet the man God called with the people God called and do God's will? Because for a long time, everybody's pointed at the preacher and the deacon and the Sunday school teacher. You ask a question, well, they're not doing this. It's just like my 8-year-old little boy, right? He broke his iPad last night. Perfect example of church. Broke his iPad. He slept on the couch. He let it fall down in between the cushions. All right? So when he got up, this woman was reclined couch all the way off the recline. Right? When he reclined it, the couch went back and hit his iPad and it folded it up right on top of it. The first thing he says when he gets it out, it's broken because you didn't buy me a case, Daddy. It's funny, right? Now think about something. Are the pews empty because the preacher can't preach? Or we don't have enough zeal to get people here? Are Sunday school classes empty because we don't have the right teachers? Or we don't come ourselves? Look, I love you, and I'm just giving you, right? It's always easy for us to say, Daddy, it's broke because you didn't buy me a case for it. Right? It's easy for us to point fingers. It's hard for us to understand that it's really on us. You know what? You got a good preacher. I love it. I think it's great, right? I love you guys, and it's awesome. I got a great wife. She supports me. The whole church loves us, right? Most of the church loves us. Okay? Right? But answer a question. We broke out in a war right now. Would you expect me to go by myself and win? Or would you come help me? Think about that this week. We don't fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and forces of darkness and heavenly realms. We do fight a war. And I promise you, if you're close to me, you know that we fight a war. And if you don't know the war that we fight, I have shed many tears for this place, for the people here, with the staff here, the deacons here. We fight every day. Think about that this week. Think where God's calling you to be. Think where God's placed you to be. I'm going to ask you to submit to God. Hey, it's nerve-wracking. It is. Holy mackerel, it's nerve-wracking. Because when you relieve yourself of having control, right, that was my biggest deal forever. Right? I didn't have any control over what was going to happen when I said, okay, God, I'll go where you want me to go. Right? And minute, I don't. That's scary, right? Scary whether you don't know next week if you make somebody mad, they're going to run you off and you're going to have to go work somewhere else. That's scary. It's scary, but you know what? If you live in fear your whole life, you're going to live a miserable existence. I'd rather be the one saying, dude, did that hurt? I'd rather be the guy that Brother Stephen says, man, did that hurt or what? Than the guy saying, oh, I bet that hurt. I'd rather take the shot, take the bullet. I want to experience it. I promise you, I'll take plenty. Plenty. So I hope y'all enjoy tonight. It's going to be a good week. Y'all pray this week. A good message. We're introducing ourselves to the speaking gifts this week. Very controversial in the Southern Baptist Church. Exhortation, speaking of tongues, languages, prophecy. Very, very, very controversial. Let me tell you why. I love you. Take this the right or wrong way because you don't know nothing about it. A lot of people argue about tongues but have no idea what it is. They only know what they've been told. I was. Right? You look at somebody who speaks in tongues and you're like, whew, yeah. I don't know what they're on, but it's not good. But it'll be interesting. We're going to take a long biblical stance on this. I'm not preaching on speaking in tongues Sunday morning. That'll be a Wednesday night or a Sunday night. Roll our sleeves up, dig into Scripture. A lot of Greek, Hebrew, original language, looking at definitions, what it is. Okay? Different types of tongues. What they are and what does it mean. I want you to understand the way I understand. Okay? So if you have a conversation at a friend's house, okay, I've had this conversation several times since I've been here. I have a girl here that works, that don't work here. She works every day, and she called me a few weeks ago, and she said, Brother Jeremy, I'm having this conversation with somebody, and I don't really know what to say. I don't know how to attack it. I don't know. And I said, well, you don't attack it. You let God fight for you, you give you the word to say. Right? But if you don't know anything about it makes it very hard. Very, very, very hard. I will tell you this, before we even talk about tongues or anything controversial, if you're coming to learn how to win a debate with somebody who's a charismatic, don't even show up. Because you have something in your mind already, and I'll never change your mind about what God did. Okay? You will not win a debate over somebody about spiritual gifts who knows nothing about spiritual gifts other than what they've been taught on the sermon. Okay? And here's the best part. It's not your job to win a debate. Just like it's not your job to save anybody. I had to deal with that for many years. God, I don't know why I can't get this done. And he finally said, when you quit and let me walk, I'll show you how to do it. And I started sharing my faith. And people started getting saved. Because I got out of the way. No, change nobody's mind. It ain't your job to. But the Holy Spirit. Plant a seed. And it'll happen. It'll be a very interesting night when we get back from Kentucky. I know I'm going to leave you on the edge about that. Be a good sermon this Sunday. We're going to look at a few passages. I think it'll be a great message. Kind of fire everybody up for Bible school and the mission trip. And y'all have a good week. Can't wait to see y'all Saturday. Bible school roundup Saturday, right? Come show up. Probably going to need a little bit of work done between now and Sunday. Talking to Brother David today. We're going to put these sight glasses in. So y'all pardon our progress. But we're going to try to get that done where we keep all the noise in each one of the rooms. Right? Anybody got anything before we go?